Welcome back to the channel, guys, and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. So, a couple of days back, one of a student from the SDET masterclass faced this very interesting interview question, which was find the maximum product of a triplet in an array. Now, this particular question was asked from the company Amazon, and if you're preparing for any SDET or any automation testing role, you should know the logic of this particular program because chances of you getting this particular question is pretty high. In this particular video, we will understand the logic of this particular program, and along with that, we will also write the code. But first, if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Jatin and I'm a principal QA with 10 plus years of experience in automation testing and DevOps. I help QA professionals transition from manual to automation testing while saving tons and tons of time. Now that's all about me, and let's dive into this particular problem. So over here, guys, let me just write the problem statement. We have to find the maximum product of triplets. Okay, sorry, triplet. Now the thing over here is we have been given an array. Let's say this is my array, and we have some elements inside it. Let's say the numbers are going to be minus 10, minus 3, 5, 6, and minus 20. Okay, minus 10, minus 3, 5, 6, and minus 20. So we have to find three numbers. And when these three numbers are going to be multiplied, we get the biggest or the largest product. As simple as that. So let's say I take the first three numbers, minus 10, minus 3, and 5. So if I'm just going to multiply minus 10 into minus 3 into 5, which is going to be 30 into 5, the answer is going to become 150. Okay. Now let's take the next three numbers, minus 3, 5, and 6. So it's going to be minus 3 into 5 into 6, which is going to be minus 3 into 30, right? Which is going to be minus 90. So of course, this combination is definitely not the biggest product over here. Minus 50 can be. Now, let's say, guys, I take the next three combination, 5, 6, minus 20. So 5 into 6 into minus 20, which is going to be 30 into minus 20, which is going to be minus 600, right? So this particular combination is also not producing the maximum product. But over here, guys, observe. If I take minus 10 into minus 20, minus 10 into minus 20, and I multiply it with the largest positive number which is there in this array, which is the largest positive number. You will say 6. 5 is not there, no? 6 is the largest number. So over here, guys, this is going to be 200 into 6. The answer becomes 1200. And yes, this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. So we have to print 1200 over here. But the question is, what is the logic of this particular program? There are two ways using which you can solve this particular program. The first one is going to be the brute force approach. Now over here, guys, we have to find the maximum product. We have to find the maximum product. And the first thing is, if I'm going to sort this particular array, okay, in ascending order. So what is going to happen? Let's say if we decide to sort it, okay, sorting. So what is going to be the new element structure? Minus 20, minus 10, minus 3, 5, and 6. So what is going to happen? The largest number the largest number is going to come on the last index. The smallest number is going to come on the 0th index. But the main thing over here, guys, is see, if we were having, let's say, all positive numbers, okay, let me just change this particular stuff. Let's say we have another array, integer a1, square bracket, and let's say that we are going to have only positive numbers. So this is going to be 2, probably 7, 1, and 5. And if we decide to sort this particular array, what is going to happen? The smallest number is going to come first, then 2, then 5, and 7. So if you are going to have all the positive numbers, the maximum product is going to be multiplication of the largest number, the second largest number, and the third largest number. That's all. Okay. If your array is going to have all positive numbers. But over here, guys, we have a combination of negative and positive number. Now, the thing is, when you multiply two negative numbers, the result becomes positive. So over here, if you are going to have a negative and a positive array combined, what you need to do is you are supposed to take into consideration the smallest and the second smallest number also. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate two products, not one product. The first product is going to be the combination of the last index, second last index, and the third last index coming into picture. So I'm going to multiply -3 into 5 into 6, which is going to be -90. And I'm going to store it inside, let's say, result 1. Okay. Similarly, I'm also going to calculate result 2. But result 2 is actually going to be the calculation of the smallest element, the second smallest element, as well as the largest element. And why we are taking this formula also? The reason is because when you multiply two negative numbers, it's going to become positive. So over here, -20 into -10 into 6, which is going to be 1200. Okay. And what we can do, we can compare R1 and R2. And all I need to know is which is the largest, which is the maximum one. So I can say math.max. And the answer is going to be R2, which is going to be 1200. Okay. This is the first logic. And in this particular logic, guys, what we have done is we have done sorting. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. So let's try to write the code for this particular program together. All right. I want you guys to quickly launch your Eclipse. Okay. And just create a new project and quickly create a class called as max product of triplet. Can you do that? In the meantime, I'm going to launch my Eclipse. All right, guys, I hope you have launched your Eclipse. Now I'm in the interview preparation project, and over here, I have these various company packages. I'm going to quickly create a package. Let's call this particular package as Amazon. And over here, I'm going to quickly create a new class. Let's call this particular class as max product of triplet. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit so that you can see my code. Let's close this chat. I don't need the console for some time. Let's introduce the main method. Okay. Now, the first thing that we will be doing is we will be creating an array, right? So I'm going to say integer a square bracket or equal to, let's say, the same numbers, -10, -3, 5, 6, -20, something like that. All right. And we need to find the maximum product of triplet. The first thing that I know is I have to do the sorting. Okay. I have to do the sorting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the internal class, okay, the arrays class, which has the sort method over there. So I'm going to quickly say arrays.sort, and I'm going to pass this reference. Okay, now let's quickly print the elements also. So I'm going to quickly say arrays.toString, toString A. Control Shift F, save it, click on the play button, and you will see that my elements right now are sorted -20, -10, -3, 5, and 6. Great. Now, what we need to do is we need to calculate two things. What are the two things that we're supposed to calculate? We are supposed to calculate two results. So I'm going to create integer result1, and result1 is going to be calculation of the last three elements. Let's hard code them for now. We'll fix it off. So this is going to be 0th index, first index, second, third, fourth, right? So -20 is, or let's say 6 is going to be on the fourth index. So I'm going to say a of 4 into a of 3 into, uh, oopsie, a of 2. And let's print out result 1. Save it, click on the play button. Answer is -90. This is the first result that we are getting. Similar to this, I am also supposed to calculate result 2. All right, result 2. And result 2 is actually going to be calculation of the two smallest and the largest number. Because when two negative numbers are going to be multiplied, it's going to become a positive number, and you multiply it with the largest number. So this is going to be a of 0 into a of 1, and we are going to multiply it with the last element, which is going to be a of 4. And this is going to be result 2. Let's click on the play button, and this is going to be 1200, which is the largest product that we needed. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the internal class called the math class. It has a method which is called as the max method, which gives me, okay, the maximum, okay, of the two numbers. If result 1 is big, it's going to print result 1, else it's going to print result 2. Okay, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to click on the play button, and you see 1200 is coming into picture. So over here, we really don't have to print result 1 and result 2. Let's click on play button, boom, 1200. Now, the main thing, if you start noticing on this particular code, there's a lot of hard coding, right? You have 4, 3, 2, 0, 1, 4. We need to fix this thing off, right? So what I'm going to do first is, we are going to introduce a quick check. So if I want to calculate the maximum product of triplet, you need to have minimum 3 elements, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable called n, which is going to store the total number of elements which are there. I'm going to say if your n is less than 3, if it's going to be less than 3, then I'm just going to print a message saying that element count less than 3. Okay, and probably I can just exit. I want to terminate this particular program. All right, else it's going to do all these calculations for us. Okay, all these calculations are going to happen. Control Shift F. Let's zoom out. This is the code. The second thing that comes over here, guys, is if you see this 2 and you see this 4, okay, again, these are all hard codings. We want to make sure that there's no hard coding, because right now the length of this array is what, 5, okay? But what if the length is different? Then what we need to do, guys, is we need to fix this chap. So over here, the last element is having the index 4, okay? Index 4, which is n minus 1. N over here is 5, right? So 4 is what? 5 minus 1. So I can say n minus 1 because n is 5. This is going to be n minus 2. And this is going to be your n minus 3. Similarly, a of 4, I'm just going to say n minus 1. Now for 0 and 1, I'm not really worried about. Why? Because the smallest and the second smallest number is always going to be on the 0th as well as on the first index. So this is correct. So if I save this particular program and I click on play button, it still works. But if I just change it, okay, to something else, -10, -3, let's see if it works. Element count less than 3 and the program terminates. So this is the first brute force solution, guys. I hope you have understood the logic. But there is a problem. You know, if you write this particular code in interview, chances are you're not going to get selected. Why? Because you're using sorting. Okay. I am trying to sort the entire array, and whenever you try to sort something, it requires a lot of computation. Okay. So the time complexity of this particular program is going to be O of n log n. Okay. Which is, to be honest, very bad. And what we can do is we can really improvise it off. Okay. We can bring it down to O of n. And for that, we'll be understanding the second solution of this particular program. But first, please make sure that you write this particular code so that even when such kind of questions are asked in an interview, you have at least one solution in your mind right now. Quickly write this particular code at your end. Now, before we move on to the next solution, guys, if you like this particular video, please make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button, and also share these videos with your friends in the field of automation testing so that they also stay updated with the latest interview questions. Also, if you're interested in the SDET masterclass, you're going to find the details of that particular course in the description section of this particular video. Now let's move on to solution 2. Now guys, the main problem in the solution 1 is that we are doing a sorting. Okay. And sorting is actually a bad thing for this kind of a program, because if you look carefully, if I'm going to have like a lot of elements, okay, we have to sort all the elements, okay, which is going to require a lot of computation. And because of that, the processing is going to be a bit more. Now, there is another solution of this particular program where we don't use sorting. And whenever this kind of a question comes into your interview, in your coding round, please make sure you avoid sorting. The only reason I have showed you the first solution is just in case you don't remember the second solution, you can go with the solution 1, so that at least you're writing something in your interviews. All right. Now, let's try to understand the second solution. So observe over here. We'll again go back to the Eclipse and write the code. That's not the major thing. So we want to find the maximum product of triplet. And the main thing over here is we are not supposed to do sorting. So no sorting. All right. Now guys, this time we are going to take a different array, okay, for the simplicity of this particular logic. So I'm going to only take positive numbers. So integer a, square bracket. Let's say the elements are 2, 7, 5, 1. All right, 2, 7, 5, 1. And we want to find the maximum product of the triplet. So you know that the numbers, if I would have sorted this particular array, 1, 2, 5, 7, these are the last three numbers. These three are the biggest numbers over here, largest, second largest, and the third largest. So 2 into 5 into 7, okay, which is going to be 10 into 7, which is going to be 70. All right, this is the biggest or the maximum product that we have. Now, how do I proceed to this particular program? And we don't need to do the sorting. The foundation of this particular program's logic is same as that of finding the second largest number in your array. All right, finding the second largest number. So if you know how to find the second largest number in an array, all right, you will be able to build the logic. It's the exact same logic. All right. Now, if you are solving this particular program and if you don't know the logic, promise me that after you understand the max product of the triplet, you're going to go and solve this particular problem, which is the second largest number in the array, because this particular question also has been asked a lot of time in the interview. All right. So this is also a very important interview question. Now, what we want to do, We want to find the maximum product of the triplet. What I will do now, I'm going to create three variables: integer max1, integer max2, integer max3. All right, max1, max2, max3. And the job of these three variables is to store the largest, second largest, and the third largest number in there of this particular array. Okay, max1 is going to store the largest, max2 is going to store the second largest, and max3 is going to store the third largest number. This is what I want to store in this particular variable. Now, what I will do is I will assume that I have the biggest number in max1, max2, max3. Okay, they have the biggest, largest, second largest, third largest number, all those things are there. Which, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it as 0. Why 0? Because for me, okay, I'm looking at this particular array. So 2, 7, 5, 1, which is the smallest number? 1. Is there a number which is less than 1? Yeah, 0. So I'm initializing max1, max2, max3 with the smallest integer number that I know when I compare to this particular array. All right? Okay. Now, what we will do now, we will start traversing this particular array. How do you traverse this particular array? Use a simple for each loop. For integer number, and number is going to get the value from the array. All right, number is going to get the value from the array. So first from the array, I'm going to get 2, then 7, then 5, then 1. So all those things, all those values will be given to number. So since your loop is going to run for the very first time, number is going to have 2 inside it. Number is going to have 2 inside it. And my job is to check, is there a number? Is there a number which is greater than my largest? Which is greater than my largest. So max1, which is my largest number, right now is storing 0 inside it. What I want is, I want to search, okay, I want to check in this particular array if there is a number which is greater than my current maximum, current largest number. All right. If I find that particular number, if I find a number which is greater than my max1, I'm going to update it. As simple as that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if number, is it greater than my max1? Is it greater than my max1? What is number? Number is 2. Is 2 greater than my max1? What is max1? Max1 is having 0 inside it. Max1 is having 0 inside it. 2 greater than 0, condition is true. So this particular conditional block will be executed. And what I want is, I want to just update a max1 with number. But hold on, before I do this particular stuff, you know, if max1 is storing the largest, and let's say there was this particular number 0 over here, I found a number which is greater than my max1. Max1 is storing the largest. I found a number which is greater than my max1. So this is actually the largest number right now. And what was there inside max1 is actually the second largest number. And what was there in max2 is actually the third largest number. Are you getting the point? So before I do this particular update where I say max1 equal to number, what is happening is I found a number which is greater than my max1. I found a number which is greater than my max1. So this particular number has become the largest number. And what was max1 storing inside it has actually become the second largest number. And what was there inside max2 has become the third largest number. So we have to just update those values also. I'm going to say max3. It's going to get the value from max2. And max2, it's going to get the value from max1. And then I'm going to perform the update. I'm going to say max1 equal to number. So observe carefully. This particular 0, okay, which was my largest number, will be given to max2. But before this thing happens, what I'm going to do, whatever is there inside max2, I'm going to give it to max3. All right. Whatever is there inside max 1, I'm going to give it to max 2. All right. And then max 1 equal to number. So over here, this particular 2 will be updated and kept over here. Clear? So max 1 has become 2. Max 2 has become 0. Max 3 has become 0. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. Great. So we have processed number 2. Now, what is going to happen? The array is going to give me the next number. What is the next number? 7. So number is going to have 7. We can rub this particular stuff and number will start pointing to 7. Again, cross check. If number greater than max 1, what is number? We'll say 7. Is 7 greater than max 1? What is max 1? Max 1 is 2. 7 greater than 2? Yes or no? Yes. So I found a number which is greater than my current max 1, the current largest number. So what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to do the updation. Max 3 will get the value from max 2. What is there inside max 2? 0. Let me use a different color. This particular 0 will be given to max 3. Max 2 will get the value from max 1. What is there inside max 1? 2. This particular 2 will be given to max 2. And max 1 will be updated with number. What is number? 7. So this 7 will be written over here now. All right. So right now, max 1 is having 7. Max 2 is having 2. Max 3 is having what? 0. Are you getting the point? If you notice carefully, for these two elements, 2 and 7, max 1 knows that 7 is the largest number. Okay, 2 is the second largest number. Okay, and we don't have the third element right now, so max 3 is 0 right now. All right, now here comes the third number. The third number is going to be 5. 5 greater than max 1. What is max 1? 7. So number is actually going to point to 5. All right. 5 greater than 7. Condition is false. Condition is false. So this particular block will not be executed. But here's the catch. 5 is not greater than 7. But 5 is definitely greater than my max 2. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to introduce another block. I'm going to say if, or I would say else if, number greater than max 2. Number greater than max 2. Then what? You have to just focus on these two chaps. Whatever is there inside max 2, you give it to max 3. And then you say max 2 equal to number. So over here, number is what? 5. Is 5 greater than 2? Condition is true. So what is going to happen? Max 3 will get the value from max 2. What is there inside max 2? 2. Give it to max 3. So which is 0 right now. So over here, 2 will come into picture. 2 will come over here. Are you getting the point? Then, my dear friends, one more thing. Max 2 is going to get the value from number. What is there inside number? 5. So this particular chap will get updated. Over here, 5 is going to come into picture. And now observe. We have 7, 5, 2. Largest, second largest, third largest. Are you getting the point? So max 1 is storing the largest number, max 2 is storing the second largest number, max 3 is storing the third largest number. All right, for this much part of the array. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect? Great. Now, the thing is, see, let's take the next iteration also, which is a number. Okay, so number is going to become 1 now. Okay, and over here is 1 greater than 7. No. Is 1 greater than 5? The answer is no. And also we will check whether 1 is going to be greater than max 3. So one more block is going to come into picture. I'm going to say else if number greater than max 3. And what we will do, we will just simply update it. I'm going to say max 3 equal to number. So let's say if there was another number called 3. Okay, there is another number 3 coming into picture. So this particular block will not be executed. This particular block will not be executed. But for this one, 3 greater than max 3. What is there inside max 3? 2. So we just have to update max 3, right? Max 3 is going to become 3. All right. So in this way, your largest, second largest and third largest numbers, they technically enter into the correct variables. All right. Now, if our array was having only positive numbers, only and only positive numbers, then my dear friends, the calculation was pretty simple. Okay, I would have said result equal to what? Max 1 into max 2 into max 3. All right. And the answer would be 7 into 5 into 2. Right. This much part of the array, which is going to be 70. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. Now, in reality, we are also going to have negative numbers also. So let's see. There was 2 negative numbers. Let me just quickly rub this particular part from here. And I say those 2 negative numbers are going to be minus 10 and minus 20. Minus 10, minus 20. So, over here, for the positive number, I am interested to know the largest, second largest and the third largest number. But now that I have a negative numbers also, what we will do, we are going to create 2 variables extra. Okay, we are going to create 2 variables extra. Those are going to be integer minimum 1 and integer minimum 2. And over here, when max 1, max 2, max 3 was there, we have initialized it with the smallest integer number that I know. Smallest integer number that I know, which was 0. Okay. But for your minimum and minimum 2, we were going to do the reverse. We will think of a bigger number. We're going to think of a very large number over here, which I will technically say, think of it like a positive number like 100. All right. And the goal over here is minimum is going to store the smallest number and minimum 2 is going to store the second smallest number. So just like this particular loop where we were checking for max 1, max 2, max 3, inside this particular loop, my dear friends, you are also going to have 2 more checks. I'm going to keep it over here, which is going to be if number is less than the minimum which I know, minimum 1, what I'm going to do, I'm going to update minimum 1 with number. And whatever is there inside minimum 1, I'm going to give it to minimum 2. Okay. This is for the first number because I want to know minimum 1 and minimum 2 also. And also I'm going to have one more check. If number is going to be less than minimum 2, what I'm going to do? I'm going to just update minimum 2 with number. Finish. Done. And the reason we need to calculate minimum 1 and minimum 2 is because we also have one more formula. That is result is equal to you multiply the 2 negative numbers, minimum 1 into minimum 2. All right. And you are going to take the largest max, which is going to be max 1. So when this particular loop is going to be executed, minus 20 is going to be your minimum 1. Your minimum 2 is going to be minus 10 and the maximum that we know is 7. So 200 into 7, the answer is going to be 1400. All right. That's the reason we need to have minimum 1 and minimum 2 also. Okay. Now, I hope you have understood the logic of this particular program. So what we will do now, we will write the code together. Okay. I want you guys to quickly go to your Eclipse. Okay. So guys, let's quickly write the code for the second solution. This is going to be maths product of triplet 2. Over here, let's go to max product of triplet. Let's put the same data minus 3, minus 10, minus 3, 5, 6, minus 20. And the thing over here is we really don't want to use sorting and all. So what we will do, we are going to create 5 variables. What are the 5 variables? Integer max1, which is going to store the largest. Integer max2, which is going to store the second largest. Integer max3, which is going to store the third largest. And then you're going to have integer minimum1, which is going to store the smallest number. Integer minimum2, which is going to store the second minimum number. But the thing over here, guys, during the explanation, I told you that you have to initialize it with the smallest number, 0. But what if 0 was already a part of this particular array? Then what you're going to do? All right. So it's always better that you initialize it like this. The smallest integer number would be integer dot min underscore value. Okay, min underscore value. So I'm going to initialize max1, max2, max3 with the smallest integer number that an int can store. You want to see the smallest integer number? You can say system.out.println, okay, integer.min underscore value. So if I'm going to click on the play button, I think there's a mistake. Let's fix this. Control S, save it. Click on the play button and boom. -21474833648. This is the smallest integer number a int can store. So we don't have to worry about 0 or a negative number or any of those things. Similarly, if I want to see the maximum number, I can say integer dot max underscore value. If I'm going to save it, I'm going to click on the play button. This is what I get. So max1, max2, max3 are going to be initialized with the minimum value, whereas your minimum 1 and minimum 2, I'm going to initialize it with the maximum value. So once they are initialized, what I'm supposed to do? I iterate over the array. I'm going to say for integer number, and I'm going to get the values for the number from the array. And what we are going to do, we are going to check if number is greater than max1. If number is greater than max1, then what we are supposed to do, you're supposed to update max1 with number. But hey, before I do that, max2 should get the value from max1. Hey, but before I do that also, max3 is going to get the value from max2. All right, it should get updated because we found a number which is greater than our largest. So whatever was there inside the largest has become the second largest, and whatever was there in the second largest has become the third largest. That's the reason we are updating it. Just copy this particular conditional statement, introduce else if block one more time. And over here, I'm going to check if number is less than max1, but it is greater than max2. Then what I'm supposed to do? Then I'm not really interested in max1. I'm only interested in updating max3 and max2. Similarly, if the number is less than max2, but it is greater than max3, then I'm only interested in updating max3. Are you getting the point? Okay, it's a rhythm. It's a pretty simple rhythm that we have written. All right. Let me remove these unwanted semicolons. Fix. All right. This is the code. Now, the next thing. This is going to give the largest, second largest, and the third largest number. Along with that, I also need to know the smallest and the second smallest number. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check if number is less than minimum 1, then what? Whatever is there inside minimum 1, okay, is actually minimum 2. That is the second smallest number. And then I'm going to update minimum 1 with number. All right, I'm going to copy this. Okay, and I'm going to have another else block. And this is going to be if number is less than minimum 2, then I'm just going to update minimum 2. Done. Save it. Bring this guy a little bit down. This is the entire code. Once this is done, my dear friends, outside the loop, okay, when this entire loop is going to be executed by maximum 1, maximum 2, maximum 3, along with that, the smallest number and the second smallest number, they all will be initialized with the correct value. Are you getting the point? Now, the next thing which I want to calculate result. I'm going to say result 1 equal to max 1 into max 2 into max 3. And the reason we are taking this particular formula also because I don't know, right, whether it is going to have positive numbers or negative numbers. All right. So I'm going to take max 1, max 2, max 3. So this is going to give me the result of all positive numbers or the result of largest, second largest and the third largest number coming into picture. You want to copy this? This is going to be result 2. And this is going to be multiplication of two negative numbers. So minimum 1, minimum 2. And we are supposed to take the largest number, not max 3, max 1. All right. And then when it's done, you can simply say system.out.println math.max result 1 and result 2. If I save it, right click, run as Java application. Let's bring this guy a little bit up. Answer is 1200. All right. Minus 10, minus 10, minus 20 into 6. 200 into 6, the answer is going to be 1200. Now, I hope this particular program is clear to everyone. You guys have written the code along with me. This is a very important interview question. Now, sometimes in interview, they can ask, find me the second largest number, find me the third largest number, find me the smallest number, find me the second smallest number in the array. Same logic. All right, guys, I hope you have understood the logic of this particular program and you have understood both the solutions, solution 1 and solution 2. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, right? If you have any questions, concerns, you can always reach out to me in the comment section of this particular video. And if you like this particular video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. And now I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.